Cool, so right now I just realised I didn't put any sounds in my sampler. So I'm just grabbing at discs right now, and they're floppy disks, and I've just got a set of them, and they've all got sounds on them. I'm not sure exactly what's on that sound, but they're all just sounds that I've recorded using a handheld recorder. It's like environmental sounds, just from like around London and stuff. Right now, I'm just tapping in a kick drum that's coming from the 909, which is just at a shot. It's a Roland 909, sort of classic drum machine. And you can hear that clicking sound is the metronome coming from the MPC. Just so I put it all, so I tapping the drums on time basically. I'm just turning them up. They're all wired into the mixing desk here. So I'm just building up a basic drum loop at the moment. So that's all locked in, all quantized. And now what I'm doing is switching between the different synthesizers in my studio. So I think right now I'm fretting because there's no sound coming out. I'm just wondering why. So go over here, so I keep the synths. And what I'm doing now is just building like a sort of standard sort of esky sort of grime sound. It's just a square wave and it's got chorus on it. So it's quite a hollow sound. And what I've done is it's got portamento on it as well, so it glides between the notes. I find if you like something like this, if you go in diagonals on the MPC, it usually sort of keeps it in some sort of key. Oh yeah, right there, that's a hardware effects unit in Sonic DP4. What I'm doing now is just programming in a reverb, just so the synth sort of sits in a space. It doesn't sound flat. So I'm just choosing a reverb. And what it does is it sends the sound out of the mixer, sends it into the effects unit, then it comes back with a reverb on. So it's a send rather than an insert effect. This thing down here that you'll see in a second, it's a Vermona DRM1 underneath the 909. It's just like an analog percussion unit. So at the moment, everything is an all analog signal. Everything's analog at the moment. The drums, the synthesizers and the percussion. What I'm doing is just like layering up the percussion a little bit, trying to thicken it up. Right now you can see if I'm touching those top ones, that means I'm adding effects to the sound. So all those top ones, they send it out to the effects unit. So now what I'm doing now is adjusting the volume envelope and the octave of the sound, the sort of the square wave, so it finishes in the right time I want it. Now I'm just EQing it so it just doesn't clash with the kick drum. And that's a Roland chorus echo, so it's a delay unit, a tape delay. So what I'm doing is I'm touching the top ones again, the sends, and I'm adding some delay to that percussion sound, so it sort of adds a more sort of rhythmic quality to it. Yeah, so this thing down here is it's a Moog pedal. It's like a filter bank basically, and it scrolls through all these filters. And what I'm doing now is add kind of like a phasing sort of effect to the lead. You can hear it sort of like, just add some movement to the lead sound. And you can just hear it, you'll hear when it plays again. Yeah, so I've basically just copied the section I just made, but taken out the lead, so the drums are the same, but there's none of that sort of square wave in there. And what I'm going to do now, I think, is use a sampler that I loaded in, because it takes a little while to load up the discs. So I've just waited for that to load while I've been doing other stuff. And now this has got some sounds in it. I'm not sure what sounds they are. Yeah, that sound. I'm not sure how I made that sound. I think it's like a hi-hat, but I've processed it in some way. I can't remember. I made it ages ago. So I'm just like tapping in some percussion, just layering up the percussion for the other section. See, now I'm adding reverb to it using those top knobs, so sending out the hi-hat sound out to the effects unit, so it adds reverb and makes it so it sits in a space rather than sounding like it's a flat bit of sound. So another hi-hat. So that's got, yeah, that. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's just me hitting something with a bit of a stick, or something. Just leveling it all up, and a little bit more reverb to the lead. So now when I'm twisting it around like that, I'm like choosing another bit of kit, because the MPC is like hooked up to everything in the studio. So now I just selected this synth over here, which is a Yamaha DX7. This is a digital synth, but you'll recognise the sound. It's like a classic Detroit techno sort of sound, bass sound basically. It's using a lot of stuff. So what I'm going to do is just like layer up. I don't know, I'm just deciding what I'm going to do. I think I'm just layering up a bit of bass over this lead. Yeah. Oh yeah, so now what I'm doing is I'm building some bass for the other section. And like, I'm just putting in a standard, like Pulse X. You know, Pulse X is like a very early grime tune. It's kind of like one of the first grime tunes. Big track, made by a musical mob Youngster. If you don't know it, check it out, but I'm sure you do know it. So it's just a Pulse X sort of pattern with the DX7. Just to sort of like, so I've got, now I've got two 8-bar sections. The Pulse X one and sort of the Esky lead one. Yeah, now what I'm doing is just put in the sound an octave up. Just again, add some variation to the tune. So a minute left. I think that's about it really. Now I'm just like listening to what I've done. I'm using the knob to flick between the two parts. So I've got like 3 different parts now. The first Eskimo one, which is an octave down. The Pulse one, which is the second section, and then the third section, which is the Eskimo with an octave up. And now what I'm doing is I'm just using the wheel to skip between the 3 of them. And what you do normally if I was making a tune is you use the MPC to arrange them as a song, you know? So you build up the sections. So I build like 8 different sections, just jam out a load of sections, and then after that, I use the MPC and just arrange them into a track, you know? So it's quite a fun way of working. It feels a lot more natural than sort of just clicking around on a computer.
Because it's more tactile.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. It's like working with hardware, it's just, for me, it's just a lot more fun, you know? It's more tactile. Just seems to, yeah, just suits what I'm doing a bit better at the moment. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
How did you find the 10 minutes?
Thank